Welcome to this video on the landmark case, Meyer versus Nebraska. Meyer versus Nebraska was a state criminal prosecution against Robert T. Meyer, a Lutheran schoolteacher. In 1920-1921, Nebraska prosecuted Meyer for teaching a Bible lesson in German to a 10-year-old, violating the 1919 Simon Act. This case became crucial for recognizing substantive due process in education and family life. Following World War I, anti-German sentiment led several states, including Nebraska, to enact laws like the Simon Act, restricting foreign language instruction. This was part of a push for Americanization. Meyer was arrested in May 1920 for teaching a German Bible reading lesson at the Zion Parochial School. The 1919 Simon Act prohibited teaching foreign languages before the 8th grade. Driven by anti-German sentiment, Nebraska enacted this law to promote civic unity and Americanization. Violating the statute by teaching non-English languages was classified as a misdemeanor offense. Meyer was charged with a misdemeanor for violating the Simon Act. The law prohibited teaching any modern foreign language to young children. His offense involved teaching a Bible lesson in German to a 10-year-old student. Let's examine the prosecution side in the Meyer versus Nebraska mock trial case. Superintendent Bixby was a key prosecution witness in the trial. His testimony supported the Simon Act's intent, arguing the law promoted Americanization efforts. Deputy Sheriff Harold Klein also testified for the prosecution. He investigated and helped build the case against Meyer. His testimony confirmed the factual details of the Simon Act violation. As a witness for the prosecution, Deputy Sheriff Harold Klein confirmed that Meyer taught German to a 10-year-old student, confirming the violation of the Simon Act. Ruth Ellsworth, the state education examiner in Nebraska, testified about the Americanization policy. Her testimony supported the state's educational policy goals in the Meyer versus Nebraska trial. As the state education examiner, Ruth Ellsworth supported the Simon Act and the state's educational policy goals. Her testimony was central to advancing the Americanization argument. Walter Granger, testifying for the American Legion, supported the necessity of the Simon Act. He argued for strong nationalistic civic unity and reinforced the state's Americanization goal. The Americanization argument claimed that the Simon Act promoted civic unity and that teaching English was necessary for good citizenship. The state asserted its police power to enforce this law, which applied neutrally to both public and private schools. The prosecution's theory was that the Simon Act was a valid exercise of state police power to promote civic unity. Meyer knowingly violated the statute by teaching German. The law applied equally to all schools. The defense arguments focused on three core principles: liberty, parental rights, and educational freedom. The defense argued that the Simon Act violated the 14th Amendment's protection of liberty. They asserted parents' right to choose their children's education and teachers' right to practice their profession without arbitrary state interference, claiming foreign language instruction poses no public harm. The prosecution relied on Americanization, while the defense used religious liberty and parental rights. Witnesses like Wilhelm Knaus, Dr. Wanderer, and Sister Theresia tied German instruction to faith, debating the Simon Act's impact on liberty. The defense theory summary highlighted that the statute violated the 14th Amendment's liberty protection. It stressed the rights of parents to choose education and teachers' freedom of profession, concluding that foreign language teaching is not a threat to public welfare. Dr. Wanderer, a Lutheran theologian, testified for the defense. He argued that the German language was traditional and essential for Lutheran religious training, supporting the defense's educational freedom argument. Sister Maria Theresia, a defense witness, stated that German was essential for Catholic religious training. Her testimony reinforced the educational freedom argument, emphasizing that German instruction aids students in practicing their faith. Wilhelm Knaus, representing the local Lutheran school board, was another key defense witness. He argued that the German language was vital for religious instruction and confirmed that teaching German posed no public threat. The district court found Robert Meyer guilty of violating the Simon Act, convicting him, and issuing a $25 fine. The verdict was immediately appealed to the Nebraska Supreme Court. Meyer appealed his conviction, but the Nebraska Supreme Court upheld the Simon Act. They ruled it a valid health and safety measure, promoting civic unity and citizenship. The case challenging the constitutionality of the Simon Act reached the U.S. Supreme Court. Oral arguments were heard in February 1923, and the court issued its significant ruling on June 4, 1923. Following the conviction being upheld by the Nebraska Supreme Court, Meyer appealed to the United States Supreme Court. The oral arguments took place in February 1923, leading to the landmark ruling on June 4, 1923. This scene intentionally contains no content.